Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Skyblock Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today, we're back down here with our villagers, and as some people pointed out, it was kind of a surprise that we hadn't had an Iron Golem spawn already, given the proximity to the mob farm over there. Well, I think the prize has officially gone to this zombie villager, who I believe has scared the villagers in here enough for them to produce an Iron Golem for their own protection. The Iron Golem actually spawned up here, and luckily it didn't make its way down onto this platform, otherwise that zombie villager would have been toast very quickly. Iron Golems actually have quite a large attack range and can attack diagonally through blocks and fences and so forth. So this one actually just walked up onto the top here, and I was able to nudge it into the pen, where it is now chilling with the rest of the villagers. And obviously this constitutes quite a good thing for the villagers in here, but also quite a good thing for the series if we can farm some iron from this big guy. And I feel bad immediately wanting to sacrifice this thing for our own benefit, for the benefit of being able to get ourselves some iron, but realistically that is a prospect for this Iron Golem. And so this guy is having a little bit of trouble being stuck down here next to this fence gate that I put here so that the fence wouldn't connect to the workstation here. Let me just break this cartography table temporarily and see if the little baby villager can get out of there. There we go. Yeah, I have a feeling we are going to have to sacrifice this Iron Golem in order to get a little bit of iron, which I know, it feels kind of sad, but we'll be able to generate a bunch more Iron Golems in the near future. For now, once this slime walks off there, thank you. For now, we can always do a little bit of trading with our shepherd villager to get some shears, which, as many people have pointed out, might also be something else we can smelt into iron nuggets, and they are relatively inexpensive compared to things like the iron sword that we're getting from the weaponsmith down here. But I think the next thing to do is to figure out a way that we can kill an Iron Golem in a way that does not impact us as a player. Straight up killing it with an axe or a sword or something is going to damage our reputation with these villagers, leading to them increasing their prices of trading and ultimately not being too fond of us. And so I really think we need to find a more innocuous way of taking care of these Iron Golems when they do spawn. A sort of temporary iron farm until we can create a proper one. And thank you to everyone in the comments who pointed out that you can use a composter instead of a cauldron to have the zombie in that iron farm design that I've used elsewhere in the Minecraft Survival Guide series. That's very good to know, and something I'd never tried before. So in terms of non-player ways to kill an Iron Golem, there are a few, entity cramming being one, if you wanted to get enough entities in there at once, enough Iron Golems crammed into the same spot that they would take suffocation damage, which would probably kill them quite quickly, but does rely on there being a bunch of Iron Golems in the same spot in the first place. There is also lava, of course, but we only have one lava source in this world, and while we could potentially build an iron farm around the back of the cobblestone generator and have the lava stick out of the back there to form a lava blade, that is also going to potentially put our cobblestone generator in jeopardy, and it's going to be difficult to build a platform high up enough in the world that the golems won't just end up spawning on this area down here. So instead we're going to look at a couple of other damaging blocks, namely campfires and magma blocks. I'm not entirely certain if campfires will damage Iron Golems, but they do seem to do standard fire damage to other mobs, especially players, so I really don't know why they wouldn't. In order to create a campfire, we'll need 3 logs, 3 sticks, and a piece of charcoal in this case, and hopefully that should provide us with a single campfire. Now, I do have some leads in here, thanks to the fact the Wandering Trader has spawned a couple of times and I've not needed the trades, so eventually I've either killed him and his llamas, or he's actually a couple of times just broken the leads for the llamas just wandering around naturally. I've been able to acquire a few leads, and while it is dark, under cover of night, I suppose, I think I'm going to try to get this Iron Golem to take some damage from a campfire, just to see if it is possible. In the meantime, our turtles have been bred one more time, so we have another batch of eggs ready to hatch here. I'm trying to keep an eye on this overnight to see if we can get any more scoots and make ourselves a turtle shell helmet. But right now, while all the villagers are asleep, seems like a sensible time to do this. So let's take out some of the fences over here. Once again, this is going to be a very temporary setup, and of course my axe has just broken. The plan here is simply to create a fenced off area here where we can block in an Iron Golem and have it stand on a campfire. I think the Iron Golem shouldn't be able to walk out over these fences. I'm going to put the campfire there. I'm going to lead the Iron Golem over here, and let's see if this works. Just come over this way, buddy. Yep, no, he is taking a little bit of damage on that campfire, and if I place a fence there, he should no longer be able to get out of this little arrangement. I don't know if the campfire will provide enough height for him to walk out over the fences, but for right now, he seems to just be taking damage, and wow, that cracking animation, still really brutal. I can barely watch at this point. It's kind of distressing. But campfires, of course, have the advantage over regular fires. There we go. We got ourselves 5 iron ingots. Look at that. Possibly the best amount we could have got from this thing. Oh, and a poppy as well. Oh, how sad. Yeah, the campfire has the added benefit compared to regular fire of not destroying items that fall on it. In fact, we can even use a campfire to cook a couple of things if we were short on fuel for any reason. So I feel like the campfire is actually a pretty decent way of destroying iron golems. Obviously, we'll have to keep it fenced off for now. We don't want to risk the villagers wandering into that area and taking damage themselves, but realistically, that could be a pretty good option. Just needed to do a bit of rearranging of the fences there to make sure, because the villagers could get up onto the half step there of this fence gate, they couldn't go any further than that. So I think that will probably do for now. By the way, I've added in a barrel here, so we have a fisherman villager as well, and hopefully when one of these guys grows up, he is going to be a fisherman, unless that guy over there maybe is a fisherman already. And I also have a smoker here so that we can recruit a butcher, although I'm not entirely certain if we will need a butcher right now, considering that I haven't really spawned all that many other passive mobs than those cows over there. Anyway, with 5 iron now in my pocket, we can do a whole bunch of stuff. We can potentially make ourselves some of the workstations that we were missing, a stone cutter, a smithing table, or even a blast furnace with 5 iron. We can make a hopper, we can make a, I don't know, maybe like a minecart or something like that. There are a few different things we can make. I'm going to resist making iron tools with these for now though, because the iron tools are something that we can easily buy from a toolsmith or a weaponsmith like this guy. And I think my priority is going to be trading with this guy a few more times so that we can unlock some of those later trades for diamond gear. Ultimately, since we're going to have to do a lot of farming here in Skyblock, I think a hopper might be the best use of this iron for the foreseeable future, and I do wonder... Oh, we have baby turtles! I saw in the subtitles before I saw the turtles themselves. Yes, the baby turtles have arrived! Fantastic, and we can get even more seagrass now that we have easy access to shears. We can always make a few more baby turtles, but once those 2 grow up, we get 2 more scoots. I will keep an eye on those in the meantime. But as I was saying, if we're going to be making a permanent iron farm in future, I think being able to leave it alone to do its own thing is going to be ideal, in which case this 5 iron might be best suited towards making a hopper so that we can have automated collection of the iron ingots that we receive from that iron farm. So I think for now I'm just going to tuck all of these ingots away in the chest. Hopefully a couple more iron golems will spawn down there and we'll be able to take care of those in much the same way, and hopefully none of our villagers have a chance to head over and step on that campfire. One other thing I'm going to do that I did not do in the last episode but I talked about it is create some magma cream using slime and blaze powder, because that's a recipe we can take full advantage of while we're not spawning magma cubes in the nether, which we will probably end up doing at some point, but we're not going to do it right away. Now that we have the capacity to brew potions, we'll go down and use the potion brewer, the potion brewing stand that the cleric is using. We can actually make ourselves some decent potions of fire resistance, and the fact that we have a bunch of redstone traded from the cleric as well gives us access to an 8-minute fire resistance potion, which is going to be incredibly useful for fighting a decent amount of blazes. And I think we can work a little bit more on our nether spawning platform as well. I've got 2 glass bottles from fishing. I did also get an instant health potion from a witch, and we have a bottle of honey, which I kind of just got for the sake of it. So I think I'll probably drink this honey bottle to get my 3rd glass bottle and make myself 3 splash potions of fire resistance. Or maybe not even splash potions. I don't think we need them to be splash potions. Just like that, we already have another iron golem, and it spawned while I was away, so hopefully it hasn't killed the zombie villager that was down here. Nope, looks like he is still pretty safe. Okay, that's good to know, but we have another golem that we can take care of in the same way. Let me throw these potions in the brewing stand in the meantime. Oh, that's a problem. We didn't have any blaze powder in the brewing stand anymore because I moved it. That was a silly mistake, wasn't it? Okay, well, I guess we'll have to go back to the nether without a fire potion for now, and it should be fairly easy to take on the blazes now that we have a decent iron sword. Not only that, but the smite effect will help us with some of the skeletons and wither skeletons that spawn in that area too. I think for now we'll head to the nether, do a little bit of blaze farming off camera, and I will see you guys on the other side. You know what, folks? Something kind of interesting just happened, and I am wondering if we can reproduce this phenomenon again. I'm going to try and slab off a couple of the other areas around here where the villagers might potentially try to spawn an Iron Golem, just to see if we can get this to happen again, because a minute ago, I came down here and an Iron Golem was already dying on the campfire, which leads me to believe that the villagers are actually spawning it in this space around here, and it has no choice but to walk up onto the campfire. A lot of the area around here is farmland, so I don't think there's many other places that the Iron Golem can spawn, and if we can get it to spawn there regularly, we can basically force that to be the only spawnable space for an Iron Golem, then potentially we could end up with an iron farm without us having to do all that much, without us having to worry too much about a drop area or anywhere that the golem is going to potentially spawn and then have to be directed into another area. We could just have it spawn on top of the campfire. Now, I don't think that's actually going to be the case because a lot of the other blocks around here are potentially spawnable. You've got these regular stone brick blocks around here that I think could potentially be spawnable space for the golem, but if we can try and get it to spawn on there every so often, grabbing a little bit more iron might not be that complicated. I already dragged one of the other golems onto the campfire in the meantime, giving me another 4 iron, which means we now have a total of 14 iron, which is definitely going to be more than enough for me to start making some of the other workstations, like a smithing table and a blast furnace, if I can. I would really, really love to have a blast furnace, because that means access to armor, and diamond armor at that, which is going to be very, very important. And I think, despite the fact that it's going to be useful having a librarian with discounts and so forth, I have a feeling this guy here could very well be suited to an armorer or a toolsmith. In the meantime, though, I have brought down a few supplies that I can trade with these villagers, and I think I'm going to do a fair amount of trading off camera just to acquire a few more emeralds and hopefully unlock a few of the trades from some of these other villagers who need emeralds to trade with them, like the weaponsmith over there who's asking for coal. I really don't want to mess with that trade too much, but I wouldn't mind trading a couple more swords from him to unlock whatever he has further down the line. And yes, there is always the option of me zombifying and re-curing a few of these once we have a more substantial gold farm at play in the nether, but for now I think it's going to be worth just messing with the trades they already have. I am slightly confused about why we have 2 cartographers, but I don't think I've traded with either of them, so I think those have been created just by me breaking and replacing the workstation when that baby villager was trapped behind here. So I think if I break it now, one of these guys will end up taking that profession, and then the others can be left to the other professions, like, for example here, a butcher from the smoker. Hopefully we should be able to get one of those from the remaining guys here. Yep, there he is, and we can trade some of the raw chicken and pork chops with that guy. The farmer has now unlocked the trade where we can trade melons with him, and that's going to be vital because I'll be able to trade 1 melon per emerald. Really going to be worth kicking our melon farm up a notch here and there if we can. No iron golems have spawned over here yet, and I'm a little bit worried they might be able to spawn on this platform here, which could be fatal to this zombie villager over here, but I have a feeling we might see another iron golem popping up once I'm a little bit further away from the villagers here. I've been growing plenty of sugarcane up here at this little farm. This has just been a manual farm that I've been harvesting whenever it gets to a certain height, and that all seems to be going pretty well. We can make ourselves a 0-tick farm even now that we have enough iron to make a few more pistons. If we wanted to mass produce sugarcane, that seems like a sensible way to do it, but for now, I'm at least going to turn a few stacks of this into paper so that I can make a couple of books. Oh, we got an advancement for that as well. That's nice. So I can make a couple of books, and we can also trade a little bit of paper with the cartographers with the aim of getting maps further down the line as well. I made 6 books for now, and I think we're going to turn a couple of those into a bookshelf because that is the vital ingredient in a lectern, which will get us a librarian villager. And I'm not too fussed about the librarian's trades right now, but once again, it could be useful to have one further down the line. Yep, in this case, it does look like the golem has spawned on the outside of this platform, so I'm going to have to try and lead him away from the zombie villager if I can. I really don't want the zombie villager getting hurt. I'm worried that it might even have gotten hurt already since I don't hear him moaning and groaning. So let's build up a little staircase over here where the golem can hopefully walk up over that and into this farming area. Yep, over you go, buddy. Sorry, trampled a couple of crops there. Not a problem, though. And we can eventually lead him over into the fenced-off area. And yep, as I suspected, it looks like the golem did end up killing our zombie villager. That's a real shame. It's unfortunate that that happened, but then again, it's going to be okay if the golems spawn down here occasionally. We can always trap another zombie villager in here if we need to. I was hoping to cure him sooner than this, but unfortunately I just haven't had the gold. In the meantime, though, Iron Golems are going to be a pretty useful resource, and if I can drag this guy onto the campfire without the rest of the villagers getting involved, that will be so much the better. There we go, he's on the campfire, the rest of the villagers are going to bed. We should hopefully be able to get another zombie villager or two during the night, and I will try and prepare some of the resources for curing them just so we can cure them a little bit faster next time. Well, I've been doing my best to get a Librarian set up with a useful trade. I'm mainly going for Mending, to be honest, and Mending seems like the obvious choice, but really there aren't all that many other enchantments that are going to be useful to us. Like Silk Touch, maybe to get Smooth Stone, but there aren't really any ores in this world that we could Silk Touch aside from that. Fortune, likewise, what are we going to Fortune except for, blocks of glowstone that we could make ourselves? There's not really a whole lot of stuff that we could end up using that for, whereas Mending, having renewable durability for our tools is definitely going to be a huge benefit to us here in Skyblock. So for now, I've just been trying to get my freaking fences back. Hello, I just got like damage boosted by that. Yeah, I've been trying to make sure that I can kill the occasional golems as they pop up here. We now have 17 iron, which combined with the iron that I've kept in a chest up there, we are almost at the point where we could get an anvil. And with an anvil, we could do a whole lot more stuff. But really, we should be getting an iron farm up and running within the next couple of episodes. I'm not going to manage it quite today, but let's face it, this low-key iron farm that we've had has actually been very, very useful so far. I was also able to trap one more zombie villager who is currently inside this case here, and I'm keeping him completely blocked in case this happens, because as you can see, iron golems are quite keen to spawn around here, and I think if they don't see the zombie villager inside that place, then they won't have any temptation to come in and try and attack him. So the iron golem that's out there, I am probably just going to lure back onto the campfire once again, drag him up onto that block. There we go, tie the lead off to the fence there, and hopefully he should start burning. We can probably give him a couple of nudges in the right direction so we can lock him in there as well, and so that the iron doesn't end up falling off the edge of a block. There we go, we got him. I think he was a little bit focused on the zombies that started to spawn on that platform over there, but a little bit more iron really isn't going to go amiss at this stage. 21 iron plus the 9 we have up there. I think we have 30 so far. Heck yes, we will need, I think, 32 in order to make an anvil, something like that. 32, 34, around that area. It's really not all that much more than what we already have, but I think this is going to go towards things like setting up an Armourer workstation, getting a blast furnace around here, and hopefully we should be able to breed a few more villagers. Once we have the Librarian locked in, there will only be one more, plus this zombie villager in here that do not have professions, so that's probably going to be a toolsmith and an armorer. I have a feeling that the stonemason, while useful, is something that we can save for a little bit later. Well, folks, after spending a little bit of time in the nether, I managed to get myself enough gold for another golden apple, which means we should be able to cure our zombie villager if he has survived the night in this little pen down here without iron golem interference. I think the iron golem is safely tucked away in there. I can see the zombie villager groaning in the subtitles, and it looks like he has plans to be a fisherman, but I think we're going to make this guy our armorer if we possibly can. Now let's splash him with some weakness potion. Just affected the villager to his left, but that shouldn't happen for too long, and now that guy can heal up. He had an item in his hand, which means he is going to survive. And now we can bring the Iron Golem over to the campfire and burn this guy up once again. I'm very excited by the amount of iron we've been getting in this episode, and it's definitely a sign of things to come. While the rest of the villagers are safely standing around their workstations, we can push the Golem up here and block off the campfire once again. This campfire method has actually proven pretty useful for a manual iron farm like this. It has served its purpose, and we could even have a zombie out here maybe for the Iron Golem to try and walk towards. Maybe it would get stuck on the fences here, and then the Iron Golems would constantly be pulled over towards these campfires. A collection mechanism is really the thing we are lacking at this point. I'm having to come down here and get it manually every single time, but I do like the fact the smoke effects rising from the campfire kind of make it look like the Golem is overheating in some way or another. But now, the next thing that I need to do is try the lectern route a couple more times to see if these two over here are going to provide me with a mending trade. It looks like we have a sharpness 3 there, which, once again, would would be kind of useful, but I'm looking for stuff that I will be able to apply to every single tool. I got an Unbreaking 3 book earlier, which I was sad to let go, but I think Mending is just going to be that bit more useful. Silk Touch, again, once again, 5 emeralds. It really seems like a great trade, were it not for the fact that I really don't need the Silk Touch now. 25 iron ingots. Wow, that's a lot for a single episode of sort of manual iron farming. You've got the Silk Touch still. I think the day might be rolling on a little bit. Protection 2. Oh, it's such good trades. Such good trades we are having to turn down right here. But yeah, once again, I feel like the sun is getting to the point where these guys won't abandon their Librarian trade until the following day. The work day seems to be over and they're just in meeting mode right now. Wow, okay, a golem spawned almost immediately over there, so let's see if we can lure this guy over in the meantime. I am slightly paranoid about the idea of one of my villagers wandering over onto this campfire, so I'm trying to do each of these as quickly as possible. Again, look, see, this guy is trying to get up onto the campfire. No, my friend, I'm burning my feet to make sure that you can escape, because no, we don't want the villagers to burn up on the campfire. That is not what we're after. Honestly, you can't take these guys anywhere. They're up on the campfire trying to see what the golem's doing. I'm like, the golem is dying, my friends. So anyway, hopefully we have managed to preserve those guys, and I think they do still get that regeneration boost every time they wake up following a good night's sleep. So hopefully we won't have that much problem with them, but seriously, they need to stay away from the campfire. It's why I can't leave this area open. We got to fence it off every single time. And it seems like once that Iron Golem died, we did just get our last villager over here healed up. 30 iron ingots total under our belt right now, guys. This is great stuff. Like, let's see what this guy has turned out as. Yep, he is a ordinary villager. Great. Now, let's see what we need to make ourselves I think we need a furnace and we need some cobblestone as well as the iron ingots to make this. Or is it smooth stone? Is it the stone that you have to smelt twice? I forget, but we will definitely need to make ourselves a blast furnace for this guy. Yeah, there we go, smooth stone. So we'll need to smelt these twice. That shouldn't be a problem. I'll just put some coal in there. Actually, no, some charcoal, because we need to save the coal for trades. But yeah, the Armorer's discounts might not be worth it at first, but they are definitely going to be the best thing to have in the long run, because it means discounts on diamond gear. There we go, we've got 3 natural stone. Put that in this furnace to smelt again to turn it into smooth stone, and then that plus a furnace plus 5 iron ingots gets us the most expensive workstation of all, but ultimately one of the better ones for Skyblock. And there we have it, 1 blast furnace ready to go. Let's see if we can get this guy trading, because I'm really excited to see what we'll be able to buy from him. The rest of our villagers are safely tucked up in their beds. No more iron golems spawning yet, because it will need to be daytime, or at least they will need to be up and around for that to happen. And I wonder if they will be doing that a little bit less now that this guy is no longer a zombie villager. I'm never quite sure if the zombies over there are what's scaring them, or if it is just the zombie villagers being trapped in here. So we might need to have a permanent zombie fixture over here if we want to continue that. He's dropped the gunpowder he was holding as well, so thank you for that. Very kind of you. Now let's see what trades you have as an armorer. Iron leggings for 1 emerald. That's what I'm talking about. I wonder if we can get him to trade something other than coal as well. I'm not entirely certain what an armorer's trades are. I haven't messed with them too much in the survival guide series. So maybe we can make him lose his trade in the morning and then come back to him and refresh that trade a couple more times. In the meantime, you'll also notice that the cows over there have turned into sheep, and that is because I killed all of the cows and waited for some more stuff to spawn. We got about 5 or 6 sheep spawned all at once on this platform, and I am now in the process of shearing a few of those to trade with a shepherd villager, because that's going to be really useful to have as a nice, easy trade for single emeralds. Now, let's see if we can take care of this iron golem without any more villagers wandering over my campfire. There we go. That should hopefully get us a return on the iron we just spent on a blast furnace, and in a second or two, these librarians will presumably lose their trades. The weaponsmith or armorer out there will lose his trades as well, and we'll be able to see what we can get by re-rolling the armorer's workstation a couple of times. There we go. Let's see what he gives us this time. That's more like it. Boots and a chest plate as a trade, both for 1 emerald. Yes. And yes, my friends, we are in business. We have ourselves some iron stuff for a lot cheaper than it would have been to make the stuff out of the iron that we've been getting from those golems. And while we will, of course, be farming iron soon enough, so that's not such a big deal, these are the key to unlocking trades in the future that are going to include diamond gear. And let's face it, there is no way to farm diamonds in this game. The only way to get diamonds otherwise is to go all the way to the end cities and find them there. So it is going to be a little bit more worthwhile to get some diamond gear from these villagers first. Now let's see if we can trade a few more times. We'll be able to turn each of these back into iron ingots, so we'll get a little bit of a return on our investment. But emeralds are essentially free, so it's really not going to be such a big deal if we buy a few sets of boots. We can even start to smelt them up in this guy's workstation if we want to. I really wish these gave you iron nuggets kind of proportional with the investment that you are spending here in the first place, but let's put a piece of charcoal in there and let's keep flushing those through. Let's buy one more chest plate. That should hopefully level this guy up and get him onto his next set of trades, which includes iron ingots for emeralds. Not too bad. If we have a couple of iron ingots to trade with him from those iron golems, then we can get through the next level of trades nice and quickly that way. Once we have a full iron farm set up, this guy, I have a feeling, is going to be the Skyblock MVP. He's also giving us a bit more experience, which is kind of lovely. In the meantime, let's go and see what our librarians can get us, if we can hopefully manage to wrangle a mending trade out of one or the other of them today. There it is, ladies and gents, mending for 8 emeralds and a book. And hopefully we should be able to trade with one of the cartographers here to get a few emeralds from the paper I've been stockpiling, and if we have enough, 7. Oh no, we are 1 away. Let's see if we can quickly farm up some carrots to trade with the farmer, because I do not want that mending trade to go away. There we go, 1 more emerald from the farmer, and let's get ourselves that mending trade. We got the magical trade advancement for that as well, and I have a mending book in my Skyblock world. That, plus whatever diamond armor that the Armourer is eventually going to trade us, is our ticket to surviving in the long term in this game. And once we get a toolsmith on the go as well, we should have access to the full range of diamond gear, and not a moment too soon. I am done using stone tools. This has been quite the journey. But guys, I think that is probably where we are going to leave it for today. A little bit of manual iron farming, a little bit of intensive villager trading, and we are a few steps closer to achieving our goals here in Skyblock. And that is where we're going to wrap up this episode of the Skyblock Survival Guide. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like on it if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.